Doreen 𝗏𝗏𝗂𝗏 is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen 𝗏𝗏𝗂𝗏.
Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝗂𝗏.
Dr. Doreen 𝗏𝗏𝗂𝗏.
Dr. Doreen 𝗏𝗏𝗂𝗏 is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen. Dina says, my child, 3 years old, wakes up in the middle of the night between 2 a.m. to 4:30 a.m., especially around when there is a full moon. Any suggestions?
Yeah, so of course, the first thing I would suggest is to make sure his environment remains dark, right? So sometimes if there's a full moon and if your blinds are not blackout, then he might actually, his room might become very, very light. I don't know. But I know personally, if there's light outside my room, I will wake up. I'm very sensitive to the morning sun. So make sure that his room remains dark. That's one thing. And then the second thing is, I wonder, what do you do when he wakes up, right? Because a lot of times our kids get into a habit of waking up because when they wake up, they come to our room and sometimes we are too tired to do anything about it. So we kind of let them snuggle with us for the rest of the night. Or maybe we give them a drink. All of these things encourage the child to keep waking up. It's not even that it encourages, it's actually a physiological kind of conditioning. If you wake up and you have, let's say, a drink of milk, your body is going to learn that it should wake up at that time every day, every night. So the question I have is, what do you do? And the biggest thing you could do is to really start teaching him not to come out of his bed, and not to let's say eat or drink something, but rather to just try to start going back to sleep. Perhaps there's a way that you can have something for him where he just presses a button and he listens to music, something calming, soothing, and see if you can break the habit. But you can also write in and tell us more about what has normally been done when he wakes up.
Okay.
The other thing, Shannon, that comes to my mind real quick is that a lot of people use melatonin, and melatonin has this weird cycle where it'll put you to sleep right away, but it'll actually wake you up about between 4 to 6 hours after you went to sleep. So that, let us know if you're using melatonin, because that could also be one of the things that's happening.
There we go. And I missed the part where Dina wrote back in. She's the one that had the child who was getting up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And she said, and you asked some questions, so she sent some answers. He is wide awake and stays with dad and me and gets up to eat and drink. Yes.
Yeah.
She also says he's already on melatonin, and many people wrote in, and I am amazed how many people wrote in and said that parasites during full moon cycles get more prevalent.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, and I'll have to read up on that. But what I want to say about this child then particularly is you got to change all of those habits, like all of that. He should not be coming in and staying with you and dad. He should not be getting food and so on when he wakes up in the middle of the night. And it's going to be tough. And because he's on melatonin has this cycle that will wake you. So either you need to talk to his physician and increase his melatonin dose, or the physician can also give you something like Benadryl on a very low dose that you take with the melatonin, and then he will sleep through. There's also now even time release types of melatonin. So you want to talk to his physician about that. But in terms of how you manage it when he wakes up, it's going to be tough. I won't lie. There's going to be a few nights of no sleep, but it's important that you he stays in his room, and you can stay with him initially, but you will eventually have to fade yourself out, and he stays in his bed. And then there will be no real motivation or reinforcement for waking up. The moon thing, I will definitely look into this whole concept of parasites and how they would interact with the moon cycle. But again, at least initially, make sure that his room remains dark.
Yeah. This is one of those things, it's super hard and it takes a while because changing sleep cycles change. But I can remember when my son was 6 weeks old, and everybody had said to me while I was pregnant, the baby that is in your belly is the baby that comes out. So if you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning, don't be surprised when you're pregnant. Don't be surprised if your baby is up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I just couldn't do the math on that while I was pregnant. I don't know why. And then the baby came out, and then I understood the equation instantly.
Yep.
But then I remember going at 6 weeks to the doctor's office for the 6-week checkup, and he gave me exactly this advice, Dr. 𝗂𝗓𝗄𝗃. He said, the way that you get a baby to sleep through the night is that when he wakes up, there is no party. You make it as dull as it can possibly be.
Yeah.
If you're snuggling and rocking, then he's going to make sure that he wakes up for that. And that child just becomes an older child, becomes an adult.
Yep.
And if fun things are happening in the middle of the night, we would all wake up and party.
Right.
Because that's the good time. Mom is not on the phone. Dad is not running around to get out the door. Mom is not feeding the dogs. They have their undivided attention. It is everything that they want. If you think about it from that lens, it makes total sense. And Amanda says, yes, we definitely don't feed them.
And also the other thing is it also makes sense that we kind of try to avoid dealing with it because we're exhausted.
Oh.
We don't want to start a whole thing at night. I just want to get my sleep. So I'll let him come in and sleep here as well. And believe me, the sooner you deal with it, the better, because it may be now it's not a problem. When they're 18, it's a problem, or even sometime between now and then. A lot of times parents will come to me and say, well, we haven't slept in the same bed for years because our child who's getting older sleeps with mom or dad, and the other parent now sleeps in the child's room. So, try not to let it get to that point. It's something our kids do learn to sleep in their own bed.
Yeah, it takes time though. Be patient with yourself. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here. Don't forget, you can watch Ask Dr. Doreen live every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time on autismnetwork.com. We hope to see you there.